brought to you almost live from the Dude in the Basement Studios. Why? Because that's where the good stuff is. It's Sips, Suds, and Smokes with your smoking host, the good old boys. Hey man, got a light? It's time for smokes.
Hello and welcome to this Smokes episode where everything good in life is worth discussing. I am here today with this good old boy Mike, and with me co-hosting is CJ, the master of smokes.
Great to be here, Mike. Great to be back.
Really great to have CJ back on the show today, and we're going to be covering a couple of really great cigars on the show.
You know, there's so many cigars in so little time. You know that, Mike.
Well, we have an endless supply of tape to record as much as we want to talk about. But today we're only going to get to talk about two cigars.
Sounds good.
We're going to get to rate. The first up is going to be La Aurora out of the 1495 series, and we'll cover some background on that. CJ is going to be rating that for everybody today. The other cigar we're going to cover is from Alec Bradley, Prensado, and this is a cigar that I had, and I'll be covering those as well. So, some great cigars that we'll get to chat about today, and I know that everybody's really going to enjoy our conversation about both of these. But first up, CJ, I want you to tell our audience a little bit about where we're at today, because this is a really great venue, and I'm so pleased we got to record here.
Well, it's great to have you back in Venice, Florida. Weather's beautiful. Hope we're not upsetting most of your listeners out there. I just quick weather report. It's no clouds, about 65 degrees, beautiful temperature. We're sitting in the cigar room here in Venice, Florida, with the proprietor, Mr. Z. It's the place where I come most of the time during the week at around noon or so, and this is where I have my lunch. And he picks out a cigar, and we talk conversation, and it's just a great place to come and relax for about an hour, and then I have to go back to the real world and try to make a living. So it's going to be fun today. Super.
Really great to be here at the cigar room. So this is obviously not a studio show, so you'll get to hear plenty of background noise as we are literally right in downtown Venice. So we'll get to experience lots of fine emergency vehicles that'll be going by occasionally, which is almost apropos for our show. So.
Well, you know, our community is the oldest community in the country. Our median age is 68.7. It was 68.8.
Some guy keel over right then.
There it is. There he went. Now it's 69.2. Thanks, Mike. Way to go.
Every time we hear a dull thud, it's another old person falling over, right?
Unfortunately, we only have one baby every 3 months, so that doesn't help bring the average down, but that's
You'll have to import more young people.
There you go. We're working on it, though. We're working on it.
Well, CJ, you're going to go over how we're going to cover these cigars today and cover our ratings. So
it is probably the most unique rating system I've ever seen in my life. We're going to rate the cigar from 1 to 3, 1 being the worst, 3 being the best. So this is the ratings from your show. 1 being, this sucked even before it was lit. That wasn't me coughing, but that's the rating. 2, do you really have to light this 3 times? And 3, which means it's really good. Very nice cigar, now get the hell away so I can enjoy this.
So those are our smokes ratings here on Sip, Suds, and Smokes. Thanks, CJ, for going over there with us for today. So let's get right to the sticks to talk about today. And up first is going to be the La Aurora out of the 1495 series. So I'm going to give everybody a little bit of background around this. The reviews are in on the line for La Aurora 1495 cigars, and they're extraordinary. The oily Sumatra wrapper is medium brown and only has a couple of thick veins. The tight roll is free of soft spots and mushiness, and the smell is said to have an earthy aroma with hints of sweetness. That's a little over the top, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's a little foo-foo for me. I think that we're smoking cigars. It should be a little more manly than that, but it is a good cigar. It is a good cigar.
Well, each of the La Aurora 1490 cigars is a complex blend of flavors and strengths, and it's also a stogie that came along that provides a smoker with a strength rating from mild to medium, and I know you're going to talk a little bit about what you think about that. Some may wonder if the La Aurora 1495 cigars are easy to find. That is the good news, and that's one of the stalwart things that we do here on the show is I like to only talk about things that people can find, and it was really great. I was able to walk right in here to the cigar store. This is a cigar they stock, and so it was really great that we were actually not only easy to find, but it was right here in Venice, Florida, for us to talk about this cigar as well. So they're not a limited edition, meaning they're generally easy to find. It's a favorite cigar of a lot of shops. You can also find them online, and they're pretty easy to find online as well as affordable. So that's generally, what I really like about finding not only a great cigar, but it's easy to locate as well. And you went to this factory, right?
Yeah, I did. I stumbled on La Aurora in the Dominican Republic by accident. I was actually over there doing a project for my business and going over to sign a contract. Never had been there before. And where the client was is back in this warehouse district. And as we were driving back with our driver to go meet the client for the first time and sign this contract, I looked to my left and I see this big warehouse and the big garage doors open. There were people rolling cigars, and then I saw the sign. It said La Aurora. So I said to the driver, I said, don't worry about the contract. I already have the contract. Can we go in there and tour the factory? He said, I don't think my boss would be too happy with that until you do the job. If you do the job right, maybe you'll get to tour the factory. I have since that time met the owner of La Aurora, a nice gentleman, and smoked a number of his cigars.
So is this was this a reincarnation of somebody that's been in the cigar business and this was a branding piece, or they changed the filler, or is this just something brand new, or somebody broke off from somebody else? Or
no, I think this gentleman started the brand La Aurora and is obviously very close friends with Carlos Fuente Jr. and all the cigar makers over in the Dominican Republic. But the brand stands on its own and has its own flavor, its own characteristics, as we're going to talk about with this particular
Well, let's get cigar. Right to that. So what do you think about this cigar, CJ?
Well, this particular cigar, as you mentioned, it's tightly rolled. It has a nice little vein structure to it. Been smoking now for about 20 minutes. It's got a good ash on it. And I'm all about good ashes, if you know what I'm saying, all right? And people will tell you that I'm an ash man. But, sorry, I get carried away. But I will tell you that this is a nice smoke over here at my buddy's place, the Cigar Room. The other thing I like about it, it does have some spice taste to it. I'm smoked it about halfway down. It smokes as good as when I lit it so far. We're going to smoke it, even this particular cigar. Sometimes if the cigar doesn't taste right in the middle or so, usually smoke it down to the beginning of the band, and then you put it out. This cigar is worth going ahead and taking the band off and taking it down a little bit further.
Wow, that so definitely says smoke. A lot. And especially this is I think is a Churchill size that we're having today, or pretty close to that, right?
Pretty close.
Yeah.
I would say it's close to a Churchill size.
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yeah, you can say what.
The company's been in business over 108 years.
They know
what they're doing.
Yeah, can you repeat that for me?
Yeah, that's the proprietor of the Cigar Room, Mr. Z, said La Aurora, and I did not know that. It's been in business for over 108 years.
Wow.
So that's a pretty good family business.
So what other, some of the other tasting or the rating notes that you had about this particular cigar? It's good that it's hanging tough, right in the middle.
Right.
That usually is when I find a lot of cigars really tend to sing, is right in that middle third.
Well, and a lot of times when you get toward the middle, you start to see the burn become a little uneven sometimes with cigars that aren't rolled properly. This has an even burn all the way down, and again, we're still in the middle of the cigar. It's got a nice ash. The ash is firm. It's not something that's going to fall right off in your lap, but because here at the Cigar Room, if it drops on the floor, the ash, you got to sweep it up.
Whoa,
this is a tough place here at the Cigar
Room.
Sucks. But now, kidding aside, it's a good cigar. I like the feel of it in the hand. It's easy to hold. A lot of that's all about the feel of the cigar, the look of the cigar, the way the ash looks as the cigar goes down, and that's part of the pleasure of smoking a cigar.
How's the draw on this?
The draw, you're going to suck a little bit on the draw and pull it in. Depends on how much you draw in your mouth at any one time. Everybody does a little bit different. Some people can take this cigar, smoke it in 20 minutes, and some people can take it and savor it, smoke a puff every 25 seconds or so, and can take up to, I would say this cigar could take up to 45 minutes max to smoke and enjoy with good friends and good company.
So what's going to be your smoke rating on the La Aurora 1495 here?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not giving it a 1, but I'm not giving it a 3 either, so I'm not telling you get the hell out, okay? But I would tell you I would give it a 2, I don't really have to light it 3 times, but I did light it once in between the smokes. It could have been I was talking a little much, but it's a good cigar. And I would recommend this to friends.
So there you have it. CJ's rating on La Aurora 1495 is going to be a 2. So great. Super to cover our first cigar for today. So our second cigar is going to be from Alec Bradley, Prensado. It is a Churchill size that we're going to cover today. Alan Rubin has come a long way in about 16 years. He first joined the cigar business in 1996, selling a cigar brand designed for sale at golf courses. And I'll talk a little bit about how I enjoyed the smoke that we're going to talk about today. It didn't succeed, unfortunately, and Rubin had left the family fastener business for something he enjoyed, which is selling cigars. He named his young company after his 2 sons, Alec and Bradley, but he struggled to find his way. He was deep in debt, and he realized that he had to be in premium cigar stores, and he gained a measure of popularity by selling cigars in bundles. Volume works, right?
Volume works.
Trying to find an edge in the industry that was going through difficult times, he showed several signs of innovation early with the release of the cigar that was a triangle shape. I'm not a fan of that shape. I don't know about you.
I like it sometimes. It's not my go-to shape, but I do like it.
Yeah. It seems like if it's a Robusto size in a triangle, some of those in Maduro wraps, I don't know, for whatever reason, some of those things tend to work for me. In 2007, he finally hit his stride with the creation of the Alec Bradley Tempest, a heavily bodied cigar that brought his best ratings to date as well as an industry buzz. Now, 2 years later, he created a blend called the Alec Bradley Prensado, which is what we're having today. Right. The Rubin had smoked a very dark wrapper leaf grown in the region of southern Honduras called Trejas. Is that how you say it?
Trejas.
I knew I'd butcher that.
It's all right.
And I'm going to butcher about all the words in this write-up.
It's all right. You're an American. What are you supposed to do? American.
So... he decided to build a cigar basically around this particular region using the Central American tobacco exclusively. And what a cigar he made. I mean, really a great stab. And, I think a lot of people don't recognize that a lot of the blending characteristics and the way that cigars are made have been established, like hundreds of years, and people do not change their filler formulas, that often. So this is not an easy thing for anyone to do, to sit down and say, you know what, I'm going to create something new and different.
No, it's an art form. I mean, it really is an art form. It's like an artist sitting, having a vision and creating a portrait, and, sometimes those visions take a long time to come, and you're right, people tend to stay with something that's working. So
yeah. Well, this brand hit the market in 2009 and was acclaimed.
Wait a minute, Mike. You hear that? There goes the median age again, doggone it.
I think I heard a thud.
He gave it a thud.
What's the population now in Venice?
Well, we're moving up now, Mike. We're moving up. But we're glad that you brought the median age down by 0.1% being down here, Mike. So we appreciate that. Maybe we can keep you a couple more days till somebody...
I do have all my natural teeth, so things are looking up.
Well, that's good. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here talking with you.
Well, so Alex had this brand to do well about 2009, and it was claimed right from the beginning. And it's a vertical brand, tasting and cigar and cider of the 5 original sizes, where it really kind of hit a lot of great industry acclaim, scoring a 91 point in cigar and cider.
Well, that's a home run when you get 90 or above, so that's pretty good.
Well, not to say what our ratings are going to be, or
no, of course not. No,
I know ours are going to stack up well against cigar and cider.
They better, Mike, because it's your show. So.
I doubt that. Alec Bradley's Prensado Churchill made its burb, and I'm going to let you say that, the Races Cubanos factory in Denali, Honduras. Now, you're going to say it correctly, right?
No, you're doing fine on that, Mike. I'd like you to crash and burn on your own show. I don't want to assist that, okay? Because we can bring those ambulances that you're hearing in the background to get you. So,
hey, y'all got people in here interpreting some Spanish that ain't doing a good job.
Mike, that's Southern English. It doesn't work in Venice, Florida, okay? We're from where they won the war, all right? All right.
So you're saying I'm not an import from Ocala?
You're not an import from Ocala. Now we just pissed off everybody from Ocala. Way to go.
It is a running thing that we have in our show that we're being banned in one country at a time, one region at a time. So I've offended all the people in that part.
So that means you got about another 20 years of doing this, and then you'll have offended everybody.
You have to be shooting for something at all times. So
I'm proud of you.
You have to have a goal.
Yeah, everybody has to have a goal in life, Mike. That's it. That's great. And by the way, this is not helping my exit strategy for my next career, all right?
23 regions and counting. 24 decisions.
There we go. That's good.
That's a good thing. So,
but it is a great cigar that you're talking about.
It is. Was a great cigar. So we talked a little bit about this factory is in Honduras. The wrapper is Honduras. The binder is Nicaraguan. The filler is a blend of Honduras and Nicaraguan. The average price of this is about $10. The ring gauge is 48. The length is 7 inches, which is right on target for Churchill. So I had the pleasure of enjoying the cigar yesterday while I was playing golf in this really great weather.
And people that don't work for a living get to play golf, Mike. That's how it works down here.
I'm working here.
Oh, you're working here. All right.
So here are some of my rating notes around this cigar. You know, it was really spicy on the first third. And I thought the draw was awesome right from the get-go. I was like, man, I can't believe I lit this up so quickly. And it was so windy that, when I was enjoying this, I was really worried. I was like, man, I'm going to light this thing 10 times. It's just, it's just going to be a nightmare right from the get-go.
How'd it burn in the wind, though?
Well, I was really surprised. It was burning really well and even, and I was really surprised looking down at the first third. I was like, wow, there's a full inch that's standing up there, even as I was walking around. So
we're not talking about your golf game now. We're talking about the cigar, right, Mike?
Oh yeah.
All right, good.
The middle third was really just singing and was quite sublime. It was a solid, even medium body, and the burn really got off kilter due to some bumps on the cart path. So I really didn't have much of a cigar problem, but it definitely had a concrete problem.
Yeah, that happens.
And so, once I probably had about 1.5 inches, and the ash dumped off, and I hit a bump, unexpectedly. That's when I kind of ran into a little bit of an even burn problem. Wasn't difficult to fix. A little bit of, tea and, a little bit of puffing, on the side of the wrapper, and, it seemed to resolve itself, rather quickly. So I was kind of glad.
So it sounds to me like it wasn't really the cigar challenge. No. It was the wind, the conditions, the cart pass, and that happens. That happens, yeah.
Right, we're rating in real world conditions.
I like that.
And by the way, none of this helped my golf game whatsoever.
We weren't going to talk about that, Mike. We weren't going to talk about that. Your father told me how your golf game goes. It's a good thing you're doing this for a living.
Wait a second. I think your microphone's broken.
God, I hate not having the buzzer. Go ahead.
I knew the last third of this cigar was, it was rather complex. And, when I get to, that last third of the cigar, I'm like, oh, this thing's going to turn on me, and I don't want it to end. It was a good Churchill size, and I really thought it was really going to last, well beyond the band. And I was just waiting. I was like, all of a sudden, this walnut, kind of nutty flavor kicked in and was not in any of the other part of the cigar. And it wasn't the bitter part of a roasted walnut. It was just that real heavy kind of woody, nutty feel to it. And I was like, wow, that was really unexpected. And
this is down toward the finish now, right?
It was down to the last third. It was maybe, a half inch in front of the band, when I noticed that. And even with, all this bouncing about, moving about, I was really surprised. But then it just turned on a dime, and that was it, and it was over. So I was a little disappointed that, how it turned. It just, doing it that quick, I was like, oh my God, this thing just went from good to crap, in no time. So.
Oh, wow.
Well, so those are my notes about the Alec Bradley Prensado, the Churchill size. My smokes rating for this is going to be 2 as well.
All right, that's a good rating. I think that's good.
I didn't have to light it 3 times, but I definitely had to fix the wrapper. But that had nothing to do with my rating at all. I just I thought it was a good solid smoke.
Would you recommend that to your buddies?
Well, I think coming back to that, I just think there are a lot of really great choices, I don't know that this particular one I would probably come back around. I can think that this would definitely probably meet somebody that would be a cigar novice that, probably has maybe a cigar once a month or something like that. I wouldn't have any problem in hesitating, to somebody that would probably be in that type of aficionado status.
So we should tell our buddy Z here, who owns the cigar room, that he shouldn't take them off the shelf. They're still a good cigar for.
No, absolutely. They're going to fly off the shelf after this show airs.
Yeah, leave them on the shelf, Z. It's good to go.
Well, it was really great stuff. We got to cover on this episode, and 2 really great cigars. And I'm really glad that I got to hear what you thought about the La Aurora for sure. Yeah. And you're still smoking it too.
And we talked about this before the show started. I really measure a cigar if I take the band off and want to smoke it down. And as you can see, and unfortunately our audience can't see, but I took the band off. So I'm going to continue to smoke this even after the show's over and finish the cigar. For a couple reasons. One, it was free.
Lunchtime.
You gave it to me, which was great. I saved some money there. And 2, it's lunch. That's exactly right. It's lunchtime.
Well, we thanks you for all of our listeners for joining us here on Sips, Suds, and Smokes. And you can catch all of our episodes online on iTunes, SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, YouTube, Uncle John's Basement, and Spreaker, our native media host. Our terrestrial radio station hosts are always expanding. If you'd like to hear the show on your favorite radio station, I want you to send them a note.
Yeah, whatever kind of note you want to send them, we don't care. Just send them a note. Any note's a good note to our group right here.
True. Definitely copy us as well. If you're in that ambulance, I might suggest that you listen to something far better.
The beauty of living in Venice, though, at our stage, Mike, is that we're always young. That's the beauty. So.
Well, and there's always an ambulance within 10 seconds or less.
It's all part of the ambiance. I'm down here in Venice, Florida, city on the Gulf.
You can reach our show online anytime at info@sipsudsandsmokes.com. Our daily product reviews flow out of Twitter every single day at @sipsudsmokes. Our Facebook page is always buzzing with lots of news. Do us a favor and take the time to rate this episode if you're listening to us online. That's a really big help to us. We get to see your feedback as well.
And also, just in closing, I would encourage everybody to come down to this beautiful area in Venice. We joke about it, but it's a great community. There's a great cigar shop, the cigar room right here. Come in. We're sitting in comfortable couches and leather chairs. We've got a plethora of cigars. I always wanted to use that word, Mike, plethora. That's a big word.
Is that a big word for you?
That's a big word, Mike. That's a big word. I don't know what the hell it means, but I read it. I want to use it, and I did. Thank you.
So I butchered all of these Spanish words, and you got plethora down.
Yes, if we ever do another show together, I'll do the Spanish. I took it 3 times because I liked it so well.
I can feel our ratings going up just as we're speaking.
It's overwhelming, Mike. It's just overwhelming.
Well, again, I want to thank CJ for joining us on this episode, and thanks to all of our listeners. This good old boy, Mike, I'm going to ask you to join us again and keep on sipping.
This has been a One Tan Hand production of Sips, Suds, and Smokes, a program devoted to the appreciation of some of the finer slices of life. From the Dude in the Basement Studios, your hosts, the good old boys, will see you all next time.